everyone, it's Christian here today. I'm going to do a review for a movie real quick, one of my favorites. I talk about this movie a lot, but I just can't help it because it's probably my favorite horror movie, probably of all time. We're going to talk about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch real quick. I'm not going to come here and say, rag on those people who make fun of it because Michael Myers isn't in it. I'm not gonna get into that too much because it's pointless, and I'm not trying to change nobody's opinion about nothing. I'm just here to tell you how I feel about the movie. Was the last Halloween movie I've ever seen. I saw every Halloween movie, even Resurrection, before I saw Halloween 3, and when I picked it up, I was like, well, what is this? I'm looking at the back, and it's got nothing about Michael Myers on it, and I'm like, okay. So I read it, and I was like, it seems kind of fishy. Popped it in, and the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. Popped it in again, liked it even more. Popped it in again, started falling in love with it, because I started to notice things about this movie. Number one, it's very original. I can't think of a movie that comes close to doing what this did. Definitely anything before that. The closest thing I can think of that remotely copies it, and this is very, very vague. Afterwards, remember Goosebumps had that episode with the masks that had, that was the closest thing, and that was, that ever comes to being like Halloween 3. But this movie was so original. It's very chilling. To me, that oozes that atmosphere of that Halloween feel of October. I watch it every October. There's so many, things about this movie that the score, John Carpenter and whoever else helped them with it, I don't remember. Somebody, Alan Howard, excuse me. The score is so chilling, and man, I'm trying to get my hands on a CD of it. The music is probably one of my favorite soundtracks I've ever heard. Tom Atkins is in it. He's probably one of my favorite actors. He was really good in that movie. Honestly, this movie would have done a lot better if honestly, it's respected now. It's highly respected now. But if you would have took Halloween 3 out of the name and just left it as Season of the Witch, I'd imagine it would have got a much more higher reception. But I give John Carpenter and them their due for having the balls to step out of their comfort zone. And Friday the 13th was going to do the same thing. Victor Miller did not want to make, and this is why he didn't do any screenplay in Friday the 13th Part 2 or any of the films after that. It was never supposed to be about Jason. The Friday the 13th is a lot like the Halloween. What they were going to do is they're going to make it kind of like an anthology with what can we do with this holiday, or what can we do with the Friday the 13th, the date, and you could come up with different stories. We all know how Friday the 13th went, with 12 movies following, I think, or so, all about Jason. But this movie stepped out of its comfort zone and tried something different. And man, I just find it probably the most original story I've ever seen. And to me, there's nothing more evil than a human being doing something, as disgusting as, trying to murder millions of kids around the world because of his Celtic, being true to his Celtic heritage. That's ballsy, and that's sadistic. The ending of the movie, I'm sure we've all seen it by now. It's probably one of my favorite endings because you get to figure out what happens. You get to figure out, do those kids die or did that commercial go off? And that's the beauty of it. It always leaves you, whenever the movie ends, it kind of leaves you like at a whoa, kind of feel. And I love that. I really don't have a single complaint about this movie. I think the acting was great across the board. I'm trying to get my hands on all these masks. I think I have a video. I've already showed you. I've got I've got the skeleton, and I've got the witch ordered. Hopefully they'll be coming in soon, and when I do, I'll show you a video of it. So, but this is, like I said, this is probably my favorite horror movie of all time. I respect it. I'll never turn my back on Halloween 3, and I will defend it. If any jackass will say, "Oh, well, Michael Myers wasn't in that one was stupid," I don't care. They can say that all they want. The bottom line is this: Halloween 3 is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and none of you Michael Myers fans, I love Michael Myers, don't get me wrong, but none of you Michael Myers fanboys can change that. And all of us Halloween 3 Season of the Witch fans will stay true to the movie, and we will defend it because it is badass. August 18th, 2012, they should be releasing it. I think it's August 18th. Special edition or collector's edition. Hopefully it's going to have special features. I don't know. Cover art looks great. So I'm definitely going to pick it up and hope it's got some special features. I want to see some behind the scenes kind of stuff. But that's about it. Like I said, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Just don't worry about Michael Myers. Just be ready to see a badass story about a man trying to do one of the most sadistic things that I personally don't even think Michael Myers would have the balls to do. So that's about it. So Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.